this is my version of the Avengers story where they fight Thanos. Oh, Infinity War, right? Basically, the plot's really similar, but the battle is going to be different. Basically, Spider-Man, basically Spider-Man has nightmares about Thanos and he tells the League. And they actually manage to find Thanos. So they think that these are visions and thus they get more prepared. Thor manages to find a book that will upgrade them, right? The new upgrades with Tony Stark is that his nanotech is faster. It can build a lot more stuff, right? Like one singular nanotech can grow into 5,000 rockets, right? Right? How do I explain this? Like if one nanotech got on him, it would immediately spread and he could shoot like 5,000 rockets. Right? And also now because of this spell, he now has an infinite amount of nanotech, right? And he has new inventions. Basically, the new invention he has is that if he wants to, he can put nanotech on an enemy's hand, so then that way they can't move it or any part of their body. It also has thrusters on it to burn their hands. And also in this version, Thanos has his hammer and Stormbreaker, right? And those also have the spell on them, right? Which means that you don't even need a challenge. It doesn't even need to start giving electricity anymore, right? And also, you don't need to get the hammer to control it, right? Basically, whoever owns the hammer, they can control it even if someone else is using it, right? And also now they can choose who is deemed worthy of lifting it. So if they don't want a specific person to wield it, well then that person won't be able to wield it. You know how Doctor Strange casted those strings on Thanos? Well, now he has two more versions. Red ones and gray ones. The yellow/orange one that was in the movies, it stops him a lot. It's upgraded, right? So now it's a lot more harder to break out of. And also, the red one does the same thing as the yellow one, except better, right? And it also burns his skin, right? And the gray one, what it'll do is that it will make him weaker, right? What it'll do is that it will make his it will weaken his consciousness and put kind of like side effects on him when you use it, right? His portals are also a lot more stronger now, right? But they're not strong enough to cut off any part of Thanos' body, right? I mean, they can, but he'll just regrow it. Spider-Man also has upgrades. First of all, now he has little thrusters on the hand. You can't use them for flying, right? They're only supposed to be using emergency services. Emergency situations. And also, he can also analyze the opponent to find every single weak point they have and to use the best weapons against them. Right? And also it increases his strength enough to the point where when Iron Man, well, they tested his strength out, right? Basically what before the curse, I mean, no, not the curse, before the spell happened, they wanted to see how strong Spider-Man was when using 100% of his power. So they got the Hulkbuster suit, and they told him to go at the center and break it, right? But this was actually a trap too. This was also just a test of IQ because no one would really go to the chest, right? Because the chest is more the chest is more armored. You would go to the head, right? Something Thor doesn't know about apparently, right? So what Spider-Man does is that he realizes that first of all that just stupid people would go for the head, and also the head seems to be less armored. So instead, he breaks through the head easily, and they actually congratulate him on that. Tony repairs the Hulkbuster, and he actually tells him, "Hey, actually this time go to the chest, actually please this time." And he uses 100% of his strength. And what happens is that a lot of the systems go offline, right? Like this version is using nanotech, right? But this is before the spell is applied to it. Like, I would say 75% of the systems in there were offline, including oxygen programs, right? So there was no oxygen in there, right? There was very little lighting in there. Most system and controls were offline, right? So once Tony repairs it, right, he uses they put the spell on it, right? So now has an infinite amount of nanotech, and it can repair itself instantly, right? As long as there's something to repair. Hawkeye gets a nanotech suit, right? And also the nanotech can be used to create an infinite amount of arrows. And also he's wearing goggles that use AI to get the best accuracy. They basically merged it with his brain, right? So he can do real quick time things that only robots would be able to do, right? Like very smart calculations and things need to be done in a split second, right? Black Widow is also getting nanotech, right? And now the weapons also have nanotech on them, right? So they can also be repaired, right? And when they both get the spell on them, well, now they have an infinite amount of nanotech, and now Black Widow has an infinite amount of arsenal, an infinite amount of an infinite arsenal, right? So they suit up, right? Oh yeah, and Spider-Man also has an infinite amount of nanotech, right? And the spell also makes him even stronger and more durable. And also Spider-Man decides that he's actually going to upgrade his suit himself, and Tony allows it, and Spider-Man does something miraculous. Basically, he makes multiple suit modes. The standard suit mode, and then the silent version, which you can switch in the system OS. It'll make the suit black, right? And all that, right? And also, if needed, it can also use a little bit of drone technology to make itself invisible, right? So yeah, what else? With being invisible, right? He also has one that's more for combat, right? More combat-ready weapons, right? And even more suit modes, right? And even if that was just a coincidence, Tony Stark still says that the boy brought their attention to upgrading themselves in case Thanos did come, and if he didn't, if there was a threat similar to him, or even bigger. Right? So yeah, that's the end of part 1.